It's just a huge, huge honor for me today to be podcast interviewing Sarah Dunlop. Thank you so much for coming on this show. She's the founder of Sarahbea Grain-Free Granola. Sarah is the owner, creator, and baker of Sarahbea Granola. Sarahbea began in 2015 at a local holiday boutique on a whim. The boutique was so successful, she spent the next year learning everything she could about starting a business while practicing as a mechanical engineer full-time. In the winter of 2016, Sarahbea attended every event possible until finding a home at local farmers markets. While she still practices engineering full-time, Sarah and her family spend evenings and weekends working for Sarahbea. All of the Sarahbea products are grain-free and naturally gluten-free and made with all-natural ingredients. Sarah sources her ingredients locally when possible, such as honey and pecans. She enjoys creating new blends and flavors based on seasonal ingredients. In addition to farmers markets, Sarahbea is available online with free local delivery available to Ahwatukee neighbors, and her website is Sarahbea, and that's Sarah, SarahBeallc.com. Well, I got to tell you, so I'm 55, and every Sarah I know who's your age, their mother, they either fell in love with Sarah Smile by Hall & Oates or Sarah with Jefferson Starship.
Yeah.
So was your mom, were you named it after one of those two songs?
No, it was more from the Bible. More biblical reference.
Okay, the Bible.
But I've heard the song Sarah a lot, sung it to me.
And which one did you like more, Hall & Oates or Jefferson Starship?
Probably Starship.
Jefferson Starship, all right. So that is I'm so glad you came on the show because so many people, I mean, you only get to live once, and so many people hate their job. And they see someone like you and they say, well, I got this dream, but, you know, they're their own worst enemy. How did you cross the line of saying, okay, you're a mechanical engineer and you got a great job and you live in Ahwatukee? What made you cross the line to where you were going to venture out into starting your own business?
I've always wanted to, and always wanted to find an opportunity to do that. And was being a single mom for a really long time, and then just recently getting married gave me a little bit more flexibility to take a little bit of a risk and spend the time.
So you just got married for the first time here?
Yeah.
And so how many years did you make it before you got married?
Probably just a couple years, but it was more just for personal use.
No, I'm saying if you made it single to say 30, I mean, when you think, okay, I'm free, I'm never going to do that. What made you reverse course after being so smart for so many decades, and then finally throwing in the towel and giving up and getting married?
I guess I just found the right one.
You found the right one.
Yeah.
So now, has that changed the? So tell us about your journey. Is it something you do 5 nights a week and weekends, or?
It continues to grow every week, every month. We looked at our just sales from the last year when we started farmers markets in July full time, like on every week, and
now in Ahwatukee we just had that one farmers market, right?
Right, just the one here.
And talk about that. That's at 48th.
It's at 40th
in Warner, behind.
It's right at the swim, the Ahwatukee Swim and Racket Club.
Right.
So
but
right
that doesn't mean anything to all the drinkers. It's right next to Zips.
Yes, right behind.
It's right behind
next
Zips.
to it.
Have you ever opened up on Sunday and there were still people leaving Zips as the sun was coming up?
No, but I have found cars in, like you'll find them within the stalls of the farmers markets for those that have left them there overnight.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to see them come and find their car surrounded by tents and they have to wait till it closes to get it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So that's what I've seen.
So when you said you always kind of had an idea to start a business, you had the idea dream first to own your own business, but then later pick this, or did you pick the product first, then decide you want to start a business? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
I think I've always wanted to do something, whether it was open a bakery or a cafe, but never really settled on something specific. And it was when I started making the granola, my daughter and I would make Christmas gifts, and we decided to give them out for Christmas gifts one year. So we gave a lot of people the granola, and everyone loved it and raved about it. And they're like, you should sell it. So then I had it kind of in the back of my head of this is something that we could do. And then when we did the first holiday boutique, we're like, all right, we'll get a table, we'll sell it. We sold out by 11. I went home and I made more. And I came back and we sold out by 2. And the event was
At the farmer's market?
at the boutique, the very first boutique we did.
Okay.
It was actually at Mountain Park Community Church.
On 48th and Elliott?
No, the one that was at Pecos
And 24th?
Yeah.
Which has now been moved to
Knox and 48th.
48th and Knox?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so we sold it there. Just decided to do it and sold out twice, and we're like, well, let's see what we can do with this.
So your website at Sarahbea, B-E-A, where did the B-E-A come from?
My middle name is Beatrice, and so I've always been Sarahbea this or Sarahbea, or just because my initials are Sarah and B, but with Beatrice being my middle name, and honey is one of our most important ingredients, just made sense to kind of combine the two.
So is that your, I'm on your website, so you have Mighty Matcher Granola.
That's our newest one.
Nutty Carrot Cake, grain-free granola. So everything, is everything granola a blend of granola?
It's all nuts and seeds are the base.
Nuts and seeds. Oh, I never even thought of that. When's the last time you thought of what is granola? But granola is nuts and seeds?
Well, ours is. Most of them you'll find are made with oats.
Okay.
Or some other type of a grain base. It tends to be less expensive to use oats, and so you'll find just different varieties of that. But when you start looking at it, we wanted to do something that was paleo, because at the time we were eating paleo and wanted to find some, and I went to the store looking for it. I couldn't find anything that, if it didn't have grains, it was full of other stuff. And you read it and you're like, I can't read what this is. I don't know what it is, so I don't want to eat it. So decided to make my own.
You know, what's funny is when you look at Wall Street, the analyst, these staples, these consumer packaged goods from these hallmark companies like Heinz or Kraft and Heinz and all that packaged goods, they're completely seeing these long-term trends that their businesses are deteriorating because at first they thought it was a millennial thing, but Americans are finally starting to realize you shouldn't eat out of processed packaged foods. And you see the rise of farmers markets and natural ingredients, and it's really turning. I think we've really reached a tipping point. Do you think that?
I think so. I think people are seeing a lot of the diseases that are coming out, and more and more people are affected by cancer and by different things, and we're learning that those types of diseases is part of that helps grow and they feed off of is sugar and the processed stuff. And I think people are trying to find a way to still enjoy food, but be more natural, and by going back to real food that just makes sense, that doesn't necessarily have a label. And so I think more and more people are doing that.
So basically all of your ingredients are nuts, seeds, and honey?
That's the base.
That's the base.
That's the
so
base.
let's start with nuts, because I'm a nut, so I'm interested in that. What are your most common nuts found in granola that you use?
A blend of almonds and cashews. So that's where we started with, and then I have so many ideas. I just can't get them all out there, but. For Pecan Festival, we were planning to do Green Valley pecans. They're down south of Tucson. They were having a pecan festival, and I was like, I need to make something with pecans. And it was going to be in November. I'm like, I need something that's like pecan pie, something that would really reflect kind of the time of the season. And decided to come up with a blend with pecans. And I just kind of get inspired by.
It's so
like
confusing to kids, because most kids, if you say, what's the most common nut, they'll say a peanut. And a peanut is a legume.
Right.
And I always thought, we make it harder for our kids by using imperial math instead of metric. I've read so many studies where if we would just once and for all drop imperial math, it'd make math so much easier for the kids. But you know why they won't switch from imperial math to metric? Because it would cause mass confusion. Was that the worst? Was that the worst joke you've heard all week?
It would change my day job quite a bit.
It would change your day job? What do you mean?
Well, because in my design, we do everything in cubic feet, and we do,
Right.
I mean, everything is that way. So,
And it makes Americans exports. It hurts our exports because no one wants to buy cars and all those other things. So then they got to add on costs. So you don't use peanuts because that's a legume,
right.
Yeah, interesting. So the majority are almonds, cashews, and pecans. And then what is the? And then what about seeds?
We use pumpkin and sunflower seeds as well as coconut.
Pumpkin, sunflower, and coconut. Coconuts have seeds.
They don't have seeds, but that's the other ingredient that we use.
Okay, so it's pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and then what? Coconut.
Shredded coconut.
The fiber.
It's really fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband doesn't like coconut, and he loves the granola, and it's more of a texture thing, so you kind of miss out on that texture because it's so fine, which is nice.
Huh. And are you making this all at your home?
We're home-based.
Right here in Ahwatukee?
Right here in Ahwatukee.
Wow. Do the neighbors come over and knock on your door and say, what is that amazing smell? I think I would have to move if someone next door to me was barbecuing hamburgers 24 hours a day. I'd have to.
Yeah, it's nice coming home sometimes, or, if I just leave the room and come back, I'm like, oh, it smells so good.
So what is your, and then you said the other ingredient was honey.
Honey. We use botanical honey.
Botanical?
Botanical. B-E-E.
B-E-E, tanical. And what is botanical honey?
Well, they're a small kind of family business. They actually sell their honey at Ahwatukee Farmers Market as well, and that's how I first met them. And so they have hives that are out, I believe, in Tolleson. They're based out of Glendale. And so their hives are local and get all the good benefits of the honey from the bees on what they pollinate.
Oh, Ryan just sent me the text. You're so fast, Ryan. Botanical Garden. Botanical Raw Honey, Arizona. Amazing. So, I'm always surprised. When I got here 30 years ago, there were 25,000 people here and one Safeway. And now there's 85,000 people and 3 Safeways. And you go to the farmer's market and you wonder, do people just not aware of it, or they don't see it, or do you think it needs more marketing? Talk about the Ahwatukee Farmers Market. It's Sundays only.
It's Sundays.
8 to noon?
Right now it's 9 to 1.
9 to 1.
And then for summer hours, I believe starting in June, will be 8 to noon.
And what do you think of the foot traffic there?
We do several markets, and that one is probably our slowest one.
And what are the other ones that you do? Where are they at?
Gilbert Farmers Market in downtown Gilbert by the water tower.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You know why I love that? Because when you want to go on a long bike ride, 30 years ago, it was safe. Now it's crazy because of this thing, the distraction technique, and the mortalities of how many people are killed per 100 million miles driven is going up. And it was going down because when we were little, it was going down all the time because they were cracking down on drunk driving. Now alcohol is not even in the top 5. Because they successfully cracked down on that, but they didn't realize that this was going to be worse than alcohol. But you can get to that from Ahwatukee. You go up to the canal, and then you can ride the canal all the way to the water tower, sit there, have a nice coffee on a Sunday morning, and then get on your bicycle and ride all the way back to Ahwatukee. So what I do is I put my bike on the car, drive it to somewhere around Guadalupe in the canal.
We went by Elliott and Kyrene, right there by the golf course.
Yeah.
You can get on right there.
Elliott and Kyrene. So take Elliott to Kyrene. So when you cross I-10, it'd be, first one would be what? 51st Street, then Priest, then Kyrene?
Yeah, we found I think there's like a Chase Bank or something with a parking lot, which on the weekend you can usually park there.
Yeah.
And then we just get on the path right there by the golf course, and it kind of goes around the golf course, and then you can get onto the canal all the way out to Gilbert from there.
So that's where the other farmers market is, and that one's a lot busier?
Gilbert's very busy.
Now, how many people live in Gilbert?
That's a good question.
Ryan, Google how many people live in Gilbert, Arizona, pretty please. You answer. And so, because I'm wondering, What's it say?
237,000.
Okay, I did not know that because Ahwatukee is 85,000. So what's 237 divided by 85? You said 3. The answer is 2.8.
I rounded.
So there's 3 times as many people.
Yeah.
So is it about 3 times as many business? Would you say it's about? Do you think that's what it is? Population density?
It's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot more families that come out to that one, and it's on a Saturday.
Oh.
So I think that might be a part of it.
So you think the farmers market in Ahwatukee might be busier if it was Saturday instead of Sunday?
I'm not sure.
Have they ever tested that?
They haven't that I know of.
Huh.
Yeah.
So how many vendors are usually at the Ahwatukee Farmers Market?
It varies. I think I'm trying to think. Maybe 50, 40 or 50.
40 or 50.
That's my guess.
My Ahwatukee homies go to Sarahbea LLC. What are they going to find on your website?
They're going to find all of our different flavors. They're going to find, we have 4 that we carry all the time.
And do you have some there?
I do.
To show?
And everything is vacuum sealed. So everything is going to stay fresh if you don't open it for months. We wanted to make sure that we had something that we could package and it's not processed, but would still last a while. And honey's a natural preservative. And so that alone.
So this is a bar, and what is this?
That's granola. So that's once it's open, it's loose.
Okay.
So it's just vacuum sealed.
So how would people eat this? Something they'd sprinkle on their oatmeal, or something they just eat?
A combination of things. So this is our pecan pie cashew. This is actually our best seller.
Your best seller is say it again, the
pecan pie with cashew. So I made 2 pecan pie blends, one with pecan and almonds and one with pecan and cashews, because I found some people, heard quite a few customers that are allergic to almonds or just sensitive to them, and so they rather have the cashew. So I made 2 for that reason, and there's people that don't like cashews.
So you have heard sensitivities to almond, but not cashew.
I've heard sensitivities. Doing this and talking to customers at the market, I've heard a lot of sensitivities, which I'm really, really surprised.
Well, do you think they're real though? Everyone has friends that, they went to a restaurant last night and they had, 10 different things, but they thought it was this.
I think some of it is real. I think that I have one of my friends, it's almonds. She had a little sample, and I even took out the big pieces thinking, and she's like, I'll try. I'm like, okay, if it's up to you. And she could kind of feel the tingling on her tongue. So it wasn't like she had hives. It's just a sensitivity to it.
Yeah.
And then I have one customer that I've never heard is sensitive to vanilla. And we have vanilla extract in just about all of our products. And I made the matcha, and it doesn't have vanilla, and they were so excited about that. But I had never heard about an allergy to vanilla.
Wow. Now, is vanilla still that vanilla extract in a jar?
Yes. I buy it by the gallon, but...
Yeah. That was one of the greatest things I ever learned. I grew up with 5 sisters, and we always baked all the time. And if you made frosting, if you added, it was powdered sugar and water. But if you added a little bit of vanilla extract, that just made your graham cracker a lot better.
Yeah, we use real vanilla extract in.
So, what kind of unit is this? What kind of cost is this? I mean, you sell it by the ounce?
This is 8 ounces, and so these are $10.
8 ounces for $10, and then how much does the bar cost?
Our bars are $3, or at the markets we sell 4 for $10.
4 for $10, and do you think people are doing them mostly for like lunch snacks, home snacks? I mean, what do you?
Well, a lot of kids love the bars.
Yeah.
And I actually started making them. I always have ideas in my head, so I always wanted to make the bars, but I had a friend that had a daughter that wouldn't eat anything, and she's like, could you make a bar? She's like, she'll only eat bars, and everything we buy is so processed and has all these ingredients. And so I tried many attempts at the bar, and just to get the right ratio so it would stick together, and finding the right pan. So this took a lot of effort. My husband ate a lot of failed bars, which he was very happy about, until we came to this. But Kids love them. I have some customers whose teenagers will eat them, which I don't know how your boys were, but a lot of times they don't, in the morning for breakfast, they may not want to eat. They may not want to, sit down. But if you give them a bar, they can just take with them. They'll eat that.
So I notice on all your stuff, you go out of your way to say grain-free. It seems like it was a mission of yours to make granola without the oats, because oats would be a grain.
Right.
Where did that come along on your journey?
And that was from eating paleo, and paleo is all about really sticking with meats and vegetables and not having the grains. And a lot of times grains are processed, or they have GMOs or what have you. So my focus was really with the nuts and seeds and staying away from the grains.
Well, it's kind of sad because the way they process, like oatmeal's really, really healthy, but most people have never eaten oatmeal because when they process it, they cut off the little shaft, which has all the nutrients and fiber and all that. So you have to buy, what is it, steel cut oats. Steel cut oats. And if you feed a kid steel cut oats, he's like, what is wrong with this oatmeal? And they do that to so many of the grains, the corns, the everything. They get rid of all the fiber and
right. And they just become fillers.
Yeah. So yours is pretty pure almonds, cashews, pecans, all nuts, no legume, peanuts, and pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, coconut, the white matrix part, and then that I found that honey website. And that's where you buy all your honey.
Yes.
So, and then your distribution is it mostly all, like what percent is mostly Gilbert Farmers Market on Saturday and Ahwatukee's Farmers Market on Sunday? Was there a third one you said?
We have two more. We also sell at Phoenix Open Air Market. That's at Central and Pierce, downtown.
Now, is that where the dog track used to be?
No, I don't think so.
Do they still have that dog track, the Greyhound racetrack, or?
I don't know.
Because I remember 30 years ago when you would go down to the tent market, it was in the parking lot of the Greyhound racetrack.
No, this is downtown, like off of Roosevelt and Central.
Roosevelt and Central. Yeah, I'm not very familiar with that area. So then where's the fourth one?
Uptown Market. It's at Bethany. Bethany Home is Central.
Now, are those both on Saturdays or Sundays? Or they're all Saturdays?
Yes. We have 3 on Saturday.
You have 3 on Saturday. So what? You go to one, your husband goes to another. You got a.
Right now we have my daughter's home from school, so we've got her working, and then my husband does one. I generally am at the Gilbert Market, and we have some family friends that help us with the other ones.
So what's the logistics of that? You just have to have a truck to set up a table, or can you do it in a Toyota Camry, or do you have to have a pickup truck, or a U-Haul? How's that work?
It's a combination of things. My car I have a Ford Focus hatchback, and I can fit everything in if I put it in the right way. So that works out for that. My daughter, we just got her a car, and as we're looking at cars, we're like, we should probably get her a hatchback so that she can pack up for the markets as well. So that was part of our decision in a selection. And then my husband has a truck, so he may take stuff for 2 markets and meet somebody and unload for them. But we get up. We usually stay up late Fridays, getting everything ready. We get up early Saturday morning.
How early?
Let's see. So Gilbert is now starting at 7 a.m. So
7 to what?
7 to 11.
7 to 11?
That's their summer hours. And so I'm usually up. I have to leave by 5:30ish, so up by 5.
Is there any traffic out there at 5:30 when you're driving
Not
across?
usually.
Yeah, so are you the only one on the road?
There's quite a few, surprisingly, but it's not that bad. So.
Yeah. Huh. So then is Ahwatukee the only Sunday's farmers market?
There's another one we had started doing, but it was a new market, and for us, we have to be very particular about.
Where was that one at?
That was up in Scottsdale.
Up in Scottsdale. Mm-hmm. Huh. So this is your top selling, but they could listen to you right now. Bless you, Ryan. They could buy it online at Sarahbea LLC, and then you said it's free local delivery.
Yep.
Does that mean that your daughter does it, or
my daughter, my husband, whoever.
Oh, really? One of you guys actually delivers?
Yeah.
You don't use Amazon or or FedEx or anything like that?
Not right now.
So now, how old is your company?
So we started, I'm trying to think, I've had the LLC because I always had an idea of doing something and wanted to make sure I had it. But really, we started in 15 selling at the boutique, and then 2016 that November, December, we decided we're gonna do whatever we can do to try get this going. It was a learning curve. We learned what events are good and what are not so good, and so then we try to figure out what we need to do to get into farmers markets. And we did, insurance, all of the stuff that you have to do, and we started at Phoenix first. So that was actually our first. Actually, I think maybe we started Ahwatukee and then we went to Phoenix. And so we did those two markets. Is kind of where we started. And then in July of last year, we started at Gilbert Market. In the summer, a lot of vendors, and I don't think people realize at the farmers markets, a lot of these businesses are small businesses. They're not hobbies. These people, a lot of them, that's what they do all year round, and they go to different markets during the week. They go up north during the summer, but that's their only source of income. And so in summer in Gilbert, a lot of them go north, and so we were able to get a spot into that market last July and suffered through the heat and paid our dues, and then we ended up staying throughout the winter. And so we'll stay there all year round.
Now, one of my favorite deals is, what is it, the Tempe Art Festival? Mm-hmm. Is that once a year? Do you know when?
I thought that was twice a year.
Twice a year? When is that usually?
Oh, I just saw something about it recently.
Yeah, Ryan, when is the Tempe Arts Festival? Did you ever do that, one of the vendors in that?
We didn't. We did the Fountain Hills, the Great Fair. That was in February. We did that one.
Was that a 1 day or 2 day or?
It was 3 days.
3 days. Was that worth your time?
November 30th to December 2nd.
November 30th. And did it just show once a year?
Once.
Well, I guess, gosh, that's just the first date I saw. I'm sorry. Let me see. Upcoming Festival of the Arts. Oh, they also have the Spring Festival, March 29th to 31st that just passed.
Okay, we just missed that.
Yeah.
So if you have a time machine, you can go back a few weeks. And do you have a time machine?
I don't.
You haven't engineered one of those yet?
Not yet.
So what's your plan? Now, do you ever see quitting your day job as an engineer and doing this full time?
That's my plan.
That's your plan. Wow. That's an awesome plan. So what do you how's that journey going?
It's going well right now. I still have a daughter in college that I have to write a check for every month. So she has 2 more years. So
I was so blessed. None of my kids could read or write, so none of them could go to college. Save me so much money. Because I know, do you ever watch Shark Tank?
Yes.
I got 4 boys, and they love that show. They just love it. And after you watch it several seasons, they have a lot of questions. Mr. Wonderful, who's my favorite because he's the best looking one, the bald guy, and he's always saying, he would be sitting here right now saying, Sarah, is this a hobby or a business? So what would you say if Mr. Wonderful started barking at you? Is this a hobby or a business?
This is a business.
This is a business. Nice.
Yes. It's a lot of work if it was a hobby.
Yeah?
Yeah. So.
And I love the way, like 3 or 4 different times I've heard you say, we listen to our customers, you're adapting to the customers. Mm-hmm. Is that a big part of your formula?
I think it is. I think it's really important to hear what they have to say and what they're looking for. I have had customers that they tell me a lot of, so I have had a lot of seasonal flavors, and so I've been listening. They're like, I wish you had this one still. I wish you had this one still. And for farmers markets, it's a lot to bring, more than 5 or 6 flavors to the market. So we are working on trying to get some of the seasonal flavors available online only, so that at least if our customers want it, they can order it and we can have it for them.
You said you didn't have grains because of paleo, but the autoimmune disorders, they've been noticing they come in a cluster. It's MS, it's celia, it's arthritis. What are the other 2? Ryan, MS, Celia, or type 1 diabetes. Or they might call it child what? MS, celiac, sprue, and thyroid. And at first they thought those were 5 different diseases, but over the last decade they realized that if you study the whole family tree, so there's got to be a genetic component to it. But is celiac sprue a target market for this? I mean, are you trying to differentiate yourself that this is gluten-free for the celiac?
I think it's important to share that information, but also to make sure they understand it's naturally that way. I think that's why we, instead of saying gluten-free, we wanted to make sure they know it's grain-free, that we're not just trying to remove stuff from it, but what we're putting into it is naturally something they can have. I think a lot of times when people are gluten-free and they're trying to get, it's always about what they can take away. We don't want to take away. We want to give them more.
That's profound. It almost sounds like a philosophy or something. I mean, it really does. Yeah, it's interesting because when you listen to people talk about, they want to be gluten-free, it seems like just from the people I talk to or whatever, it seems like 20% are doing it because they actually have the autoimmune celiac sprue, but the other 80% have decided they don't want gluten for whatever reason. And so it seems to be growing in demand that gluten is not something. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people don't like gluten?
I think there are a lot of people that have sensitivity that don't realize it until they take it away. And if they take it away, even for 30 days and they add it back in, they realize that they're sensitive to it. But I think there's a little bit more to it as well, depending on where that gluten's coming from. And I think some of it is from where the grains are coming from as well. I think there's whether it's a pesticide or whether it's modified, I think some of that is part of.
Yeah, and you know what? You think this country's, as you get older and older and older, you just feel more jaded and jaded. Like, really? Like, I couldn't believe that California passed a law that you couldn't tell people if something was GMO. I'm like, how does that even happen? Yeah. I mean, doesn't that fall under free speech? But they, a lot of times it seems like money's the answer. What's the question? And some of these, it was amazing when I learned that the average grocery store has 60,000 SKU items, and 80% of them come from 10 companies.
Wow.
So 10 companies are putting 80% of the stuff into every grocery store you walk into, and then you see things like that, and I think people are catching on to that.
Yeah.
I really, really do think that this smartphone is making people smarter. Do you think the smartphone is making people smarter?
I think it can make people smarter.
But I mean, you're seeing stock prices of consumer packaged goods categories. I mean, Heinz and Kraft and these breakfast cereals. Like, you thought when I was little that, Fruit Loops and Lucky Charms, would be a staple for at least a million more years. But you're seeing those items track downwards where moms are saying, no, my kid's not going to wake up and eat Lucky Charms out of a box.
Well, people are reading the labels more.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely an upward trend. People are actually reading. Because when people come to us at the farmer's market, the first thing they do is they look over and they read what's in it. So I think that more and more people are doing that.
I love how it made me a flashback. I haven't seen in front of remember the Uncola? With 7-Up was the Uncola.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
I do.
Do they still even ever advertise that, the Uncola?
I don't know.
Because when I saw the Ungranola bar, I thought, man, that's a blast from the past. That reminded me of the Uncola. Uncola ingredients: raw almonds, raw cashews, organic, unsweetened, shredded coconut, raw pepita.
It's pumpkin seeds.
Raw pepita, raw sunflower seeds, local honey, organic coconut oil, Enjoy Life chocolate chunks, vanilla extract, sea salt, registered with Home Baked and Confectionery Goods Program, prepared in a private home, available online, sarahbeallc.com. You even give away your home address.
That's part of being registered with the state.
Did that bother you to put away your home address?
No.
Yeah. Because when I gave away my home address, instantly everyone thought this was some Chippendale dance club. And I had to tell people, no, you're confused somehow. But that is just so dang cool. And that's another thing that I love. I mean, I got 9 years of college, and I look at any box of anything, and I don't even know what 80% of the ingredients are. It's like, how can you have 9 years of college and not know what's in these labels? I mean, it's like, you know, and I see two trends on that. I hear a lot of people saying I won't eat anything if it has more than 5 ingredients. Mm-hmm. Some people say I won't eat anything if it has ingredients that I don't know what they are. Mm-hmm. And now there's a growing trend that says I won't eat anything that has a label on it. You know, there's no label on fish and chicken and shrimp and tomatoes and bananas and fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. So it's really it was Thomas Edison, who I think was the smartest American scientist ever. He had I think, what do you have, 1,700 patents? Mm-hmm. And I mean, the guy was a machine. And he said that real medicine. Can you send me that as Thomas Edison quote? Medicine. In the future, man will treat his diseases by the food that he eats. Here, let's get the exact quote. I'm sitting here butchering.
Yeah, I got it, right here.
Rebecca.
According to Snopes, it's a rumor.
Really? According to Snopes, it's a rumor?
Yeah,
oh, Ryan, there's nothing worse than an inconvenient fact.
Hey, it's still a great quote, though. I'll text it to you.
Thomas Edison said, but according to Snopes, really, that's the first. I mean, I've been saying that quote since I was in dental school.
Yeah.
But anyway, it said, the doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, in diet, and in the cause and prevention of disease. Where Americans are so good at taking something broken. You have a heart attack, we'll fix it. Your tooth fell out, we'll replace it. There's a cavity, we'll drill it out and fix it. And it's like the whole health industry is fixing something's broken. By changing your diet and exercise, it'd be a lot better to prevent lung cancer than to smoke a pack of Marlboros a day and then get successfully treated for lung cancer. And that's really a serious trend line. And a lot of people, they say, you know, they'll say things, but they don't have data for it. But when you see the Wall Street Journal talking about these large consumer, what do they call it? CPG category? Consumer, CBPG? What is that category? Consumer, sure. I think it's, what does Amazon call it? CPCG? Consumer Packaged Goods Company? Is it CPGC? Consumer Packaged Goods?
Let's see. CPG, Consumer Packaged Goods, CPG.
It's just CPG.
Yep.
Well, I think they should add another C for the company. But the CPG units and how Wall Street values those stocks have been trending down while the rest of the market has been exploding. First they thought, well, this is a millennial thing. And then they're like, no, the baby boomers. And then the people ahead of me are the, what do they call them? The silent generation. Mm-hmm. The whole country's awakening that maybe we should be more concerned with the food that we eat. Mm-hmm. And you're poised to ride that trend. Now, are you going to try to, like Snickers, like Hershey? I mean, they just started with a Hershey bar. Coca-Cola only had only one product for a century. So are you thinking about, I'm going to do 1 or 2 products and grow that, grow vertical? Or are you thinking a horizontal and increase your product line?
That's the challenge with learning how a business works for me is I have all these ideas and I want to do it all. But thankfully, my husband is a little more grounded.
Now, what's he do?
He's actually a mitigation manager for a restoration company.
A litigation?
Mitigation.
What's mitigation?
If your house floods or you have fire, then his company can come in and dry it out and get it back together.
So that is my favorite story is Wrigley Spearmint Gum. So did you hear how he got started? He became he got a job as a baking soda salesman. And how the only way he could think of growing his gum is that if you bought 2 bottles of baking soda, he'd give you a stick of chewing gum, and that really exploded sales. And then one day he thought, well, why am I doing that? Forget the baking soda. So then he just focused on the gum, and then that was what we know Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. And so the advantage of going horizontal is do you find your gum? Do you think you've found your gum and you're going to run with your 1 unit of Coca-Cola or your Hershey bar or your Wrigley's gum? Or are you still going to go horizontal to see if there's something that's more?
I think, well, we started with the bags and then we added the bars. So in that case, we did go horizontal with the bars, and those are probably our best seller. We still get a lot of people buying the bags, but people love the bars. And so right now we're
and these are $10 a bag, and how much the bars are
$3, or we do
Ryan,
4
get
for
her
$10.
$26. I'm gonna buy these. I'm gonna eat these this weekend. I am. We're gonna put our money where our mouth is, and we're gonna try this.
Thank you. And then one of our next steps is to get this store ready. So get a packaging that is a little less labor intensive for us and more polished for store, because that's what we're looking to do with the bars, is to get them to more people by having them available in a Sprouts or Whole Foods or something like that.
No, you can keep the change. There's a tip for coming over here and spending your time and all that kind of stuff. So you got a very nice website, and I saw that it's Sarahbea LLC. Are you starting to get sales on the website?
We get quite a few.
Now, are those initial sales, or they bought it first? They met you first at a farmer's market, and then they're reordering on your website, or
a combination. So we did the Fountain Hills, the Great Fair, and we've had several orders from that. So people that came out just for the fair, that then have ordered from us, and then we do a farmer's market in Saddlebrook, which is just once a month.
In where?
Saddlebrook. It's in Oro Valley, south of here. It's between here and Tucson.
Okay.
And it's basically a retirement community. And so we've had some of them that have ordered from us there because we were only there once a month and wanted to order again before we came back.
Now, see, I see this bowl in the pictures. Like my first thought of this would be to put on your oatmeal.
Yogurt as well.
Yeah, or yogurt, right?
I've had people put that on like salad toppers, so that's a great great thing to make with it. I've also, so this one is our Cajun. Which you'll be able to try later. And
New Orleans Cajun?
Kind of, yeah. So it's a little sweet and salty because it still has honey in it, but it has a Cajun seasoning and some chili powder in it. And this one is a little bit bigger in pieces, so you could just kind of grab it and eat it. But I've actually ground that up and sprinkled it like on roasted vegetables. So you get like Brussels sprouts, and then you sprinkle it on, and it gives it a little bit of a crunch. And so
I've been to New Orleans to watch dentists make gumbo. I'm pretty sure there's not a single ingredient that they haven't put in gumbo before. Yeah, gumbo seems like that's an art in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is a grain-free granola bar, Sarahbea. But what is you have pecan pie bars? You have almond. What is this one called?
This one's chocolate.
Oh, this one's chocolate. Okay. And okay, so it's on the back, the ungranola bar chocolate, I see. So on the label, it would say, so this is more your logo, and this is more the name of it.
Yeah.
This is pecan pie cashew, and this is the savory Cajun.
And that's our perfectly plain in a bar. So
okay, Ryan, you get the perfectly
original
plain one. Dad gets the chocolate. And since I'm a wimp, you get the Cajun, and I'll get the cashew.
You'll like Cajun.
So how else have you been successful at driving digital marketing to your website, Sarahbea LLC?
We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter.
We'll start a thread on Tukeetown.
Okay.
And post your whole lineup there. We're 3 months old. We don't have any advertising, but this wasn't what I call advertising. You live in Ahwatukee, and this is your business, and I think it'll be fun. And when we talk about inspired by seasonal ingredients, that's one of the things I really see different with my grandchildren versus when I was a little boy in Kansas. You know, when we were little, all my family and friends and cousins, the lingo was, oh, you know, in 2 weeks the strawberries blossom, or we knew the seasons, and there were things you just ate at a certain time. Like I guess the only way I explain to a millennial is, you know, you only celebrate Halloween in October. You only have Thanksgiving in November. But when it comes to 365-day growing seasons for everything they eat in the produce section, the millennials really they didn't grow up with seasons.
Yeah, it's available all the time.
Yeah, because when it's off season here, they're growing it on the other side of the equator and flying it over here in a machine. But are any of your ingredients kind of seasonal since they're local?
The one thing I did learn was cranberries. That one is definitely seasonal. So I can only get them in, I think, towards the end of October.
And where do you get those at?
I got them from Cape
Northeast?
Cod, yeah.
Yeah, Northeast. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a family farm that I looked up.
And you know, I think the seasons were more fun because, you know, I don't think Halloween would be fun if you had a pumpkin in your house every night, you know. And I think it was really, really, I mean, we used to look forward to these things coming, and you would get in the station wagon with all your sisters, and you would go to a place, and they would charge you by how many you picked, and you looked forward to it.
Yep.
But when you go to Safeway or Fry's and it's there every single day, you lose that you know, you have to take something away, or when something's only available.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite different, isn't it?
It is, and they do taste different.
But see, I don't want to talk about that because the one thing I don't want to do is be you know, all the old people all whining about how good it was 50 years ago and how everything's going downhill, because I don't think it's going downhill. I mean,
well, I'm waiting for rhubarb to come in season.
Oh, rhubarb pie.
Because I have some thoughts on
rhubarb.
rhubarb.
Yeah, that is amazing. Well, I am so honored by your entrepreneurialism, your hustle, you're doing it, you're following your dreams, your passion, and I can't believe we've been talking about granola bars for an hour, but
really?
we did. We talked, no, not granola bars, ungranola bars.
Ungranola bars.
And I think, like I say, I haven't heard of the Uncola I'm flashing back in my brain. I can almost still see the commercial. It had to be 30 years ago. Yeah. But Sarah Dunlop with Sarahbea LLC. Thank you so much, and come on, check out the farmers market. It's fun. I mean, what are you doing on Sunday morning? I mean, even if you're going to church, the hours are. Or is this Sunday going to be 7 to 11, or is it still the 8 to 2?
On Sunday, it'll be 9 to 1.
It'll be 9 to 1.
So come out.
But when does it?
After church.
When does it switch to the earlier?
In June.
It'll
be 8 to 12. So go to early service and then come out.
But the Catholics all go Saturday night.
Oh, well,
have you
then
noticed
they can
that?
come every Sunday.
All my Catholic friends go to Corpus Christi Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
So they
don't
you
have an
can't.
excuse then.
Well, you can't mess up with the real religion of Sunday morning football.
Okay.
And you know they can't. You know those are.
Well, they can come early and then catch football.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck to you.